Shalom and good day all, this is Healing29, back again for another indie comic review, and in this indie comic review I will be reviewing Kingspawn issue 4, and my goodness, this story has been pretty good, and I want to include pretty consistent too with a lot of things, and I'm really looking forward to sharing my ratings for the areas that I like to rate my stories or my comic book stories, as well as sharing the things that I enjoyed, as well as things that were sort of missing. So starting off with first things first, let's get to this cover. Does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside the story? It somewhat does. And for the cover, I am giving it a 7 out of 10. Yes, it's done in somewhat black and white, but we still got the colour there, and also the colour in his eyes. So, now it's time to jump. Oh, hold on. For the cover, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move to the art, which we'll see some art around the beginning, middle and end of story. Now this is some of the art around the beginning of the story. And as you can see here, we've got Spawn, which could be experiencing his own version of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. No doubt that area was somewhat meant to be biblically related, but then we move into the middle of the story, and of course we've got Spawn and She-Spawn, and last but not least, let's go towards the end. And here we go with the art towards the end. So for this art, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to jump into the story. Moving into first things first, did this story give us any references to any previous issues in connection to this Spawn issue? Sure enough it did, and it gave a reference to Spawn issue 316. We got no indication of time, but we did actually get a number of locations. So moving into the locations, we got Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We also got Botswana in Africa. And last but not least, we also got Spawn's base. The cast of characters consisting of Spawn, Kincaid, to which he died a very gruesome death, no doubt about that. Person known as the Oracle, a young person by the name of Simon. We also had She-Spawn and Medieval May. Now, I'm wondering if, or when Todd McFarlane will probably bring in characters like even Ninja Spawn and Samurai Spawn, because I'd really be interested in picking up those if they came out in comics. And I'd probably drop King Spawn and Gunslinger Spawn for those particular comics if they ever come out. But I want to say one thing, I have enjoyed this story so far. I also enjoyed the writer that is doing this story, and he's really delivered something very simple to understand, very not complicated. In some places it can feel a little, but once you have a look at it a second time, it's a little less complicated. So for the story rating, I gave this a 7 out of 10. Definitely check this out. If there's anything of Spawn that you're reading right now, please let me know in the comments. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.